Back for another high school football season, Jim Ruppert, Ryan Mahan, and we're here to talk Central State A Conference football. Ryan, when we talk Central State A Conference football, where do we always start?
SHG in Rochester.
Have to start there. Talk about SHG, what they've got.
You know, they did lose quite a bit from last year. No Gabe Green, no Michael Ziegler, no Quinn Oslin. Those are three Division I players.
Mm-hmm.
But what they bring back are a bunch of guys who can score and who can run and who can catch and who can stop everybody else. So even though now they're in 6A because of the success factor, I think that we assume that our Thanksgiving day, our Thanksgiving weekend is going to be up in DeKalb, watching both Rochester and SHG play.
Kind of become a turkey tradition, hasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and they haven't even made it. They've gone to 4 straight semifinals too. I mean, 2 state championships and 4 state semifinals. And you know, everybody's going to hear the name Tim Breniason and automatically think back, 7-8 years ago when Bobby Breniason was leading SHG to 2 state championships. And now he's got the chance. He's a junior quarterback, just like his brother was when he took over the job. So
Breniason has never lost a game as a starting quarterback at Sacred Heart Griffin.
that's actually a good point.
And Sam Sargent's a 1,000-yard rusher.
Yep.
And a guy like James Obibi decides not to play football, and you're thinking, boy, that'll cut into their depth. Yeah, all they've got is the 100-meter champion in the Central State A Conference and another sophomore that went into the game in nothing time and ran well.
Well, and Tristan Blair, I mean, not only was he fast in track this year, he all summer long he was in these track meets out of state, national competition, and performing really well. So here's a guy who, if he gets a little bit of space, he's gone.
Yeah, and it'll bump the lasting memory of that kid from Peoria Central cheap shotting him at the end of the playoff game too.
I forgot about that in the semifinal.
The other one you mentioned is Rochester, defending 4A state champion, 5-time defending state champion.
Not a lot back, but they do have a quarterback back, Dan Ziegler, and what you should see from him, everything I'm hearing, is things are just instinctual now for him.
Yeah.
His reads are much quicker. He's getting rid of the ball faster. Last year was a thinking year for him. He had to do a lot of things through a process. This year, it's automatic.
All second nature.
Yeah.
He knows the system. Evan Semble set a Central State Conference rushing record, 2,447 yards last year, most ever by a runner in the Central State A Conference. So you're thinking, boy, what are they going to? Kenny Hedges is pretty good.
Yeah, and every year it's the next man up for their running game. Whether it's it was Garrett Dooley after Colton Glazebrook, and then it was Drake Berberet, and then it was Evan Semble, and every time you're thinking,
there's got to be a drop-off.
This running back. I mean, we know about the quarterbacking and how impressive that lineage has been, but the running back lineage has been just as impressive there.
The 3-4 slots, Glenwood, Jacksonville. That's kind of how I look at it, and I think Jacksonville is going to be good. Jacksonville comes to Springfield and plays against Landfair on opening night.
Can they stop anybody though? I mean, that's.
Big question.
They're going to be able to score a ton of points this year. They're going to be fun to watch offensively, as they've been in the past. But the big question mark, because they haven't done it routinely, is can they stop people? Last year they lost to Rochester 54-46 or something along those lines. I mean, and they got
Ryan
down
Webster
huge.
knows because that game took until about midnight. He knows what the score that was.
Yeah, that was. I mean, but that was typical of not just Jacksonville last year, but Jacksonville the last 6 or 7 years.
Week 1 against Landfair, they went on forever. That was a high-scoring game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and Glenwood has got a sophomore quarterback.
Yeah, Hembrow.
Cole
and
Hembrow.
The thing is, a lot of people look at Glenwood and Jacksonville as who's going to be 3, and until Jacksonville can prove to beat Glenwood, they've only done that once in conference history. I think you have to go with Glenwood in that matchup, but I think Jacksonville has what it takes to win. I just don't know if they can get over that hump.
Last year for Dan Rourke. Going to retire at the end of the school year as the athletic director. Still not sure about the coaching, if he's going to hang on.
I don't know. I mean, I'd love to see him hang on. He's one of, media-wise, he's great to work with. And I last year after a loss, he grabbed the camera. I'd asked him a question. I had a camera in my hand, and he grabs the camera and gives me the answer and walks away, and it was a great piece of video.
After that, we kind of got a hodgepodge, don't we, in the Central State A Conference? MacArthur was a playoff team last year, expected to be down. Eisenhower was not a playoff team, a 2-7 team, expected to be up. Springfield High, brand new coach that we're looking at. Coach Gully taking over. Southeast made the playoffs. What can they make it 2 in a row? I don't know. Southeast doesn't have a great history of being a repeat playoff team. And Lanphier was knocking on the door at 4-5. All those teams are jumbled right there.
There's, I look at it as Springfield High, Southeast, and Lanphier as the guys fighting for that 5th and 6th playoff spot in the conference. If all they do is just beat up on each other, no one's going to get it. It might be a 4-team playoff, 4 teams in the playoffs. But if 2 of those teams can take care of business and maybe upset one of the top 4 teams along the way, we might get 6 teams in the playoffs this year. But as of now, you could put those teams in a bag: Springfield High, Southeast, and Lanphier, shake them up, and I'd be comfortable in that order because they've all got talent, they've all got big strengths, but they also have a lot of question marks.
Yeah, a lot of and Springfield High coming off of 2-7. A lot of those guys back. They played a lot of young people last year, but they were 2-7 playing those young people.
And that's the question mark for them.
Yeah.
Is how much better can they be? Can they be 5-4 better, or can they be, is better for them going to be 3-6 or 4-5?
That's right. At the bottom of the league, we probably have Lincoln again. You've got a story about, you talked to the new coach, Coach Bass, and he's kind of got it in perspective.
He does. He coached Jacob Harnicke at Culver Stockton. He said he knew exactly what he was getting to before he ever sent the application in, and that this is the type of job that he wants. He wants to be able to come in, and he didn't say hero, but he kind of wants to play that role. He wants to be the guy who can turn around. Now there's been 10, 12, 13 guys in the past 30 years who've thought they could do the same thing, but he honestly believes in what he can do, and it seems like he's at least starting on the right path. They're trying to get coordination with the JFL to do it from the ground floor up, and that's something apparently
establish a system
that Lincoln hasn't done. And one-horse teams, one-school teams like Taylorville and Rochester that have had success, the Auburns, the Williamsvilles, they've coordinated those from the ground level on up. Chatham. And so for Lincoln, that makes sense, and you kind of think, why hasn't anybody done this before?
If you want to give us some feedback, just let us know. preps.sj-r.com. All about high school sports. We're going to do this every week. Let us know what you think. See you next week.